Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monday Night Live here on YouTube. So, I've already been working on Instagram and Facebook earlier this evening. Anyone familiar with how I do these? I like to give the person the option of where they like to see me draw their piece, and the person who did this one chose YouTube, which I appreciate. So I want to do a little more. I like adding content to my to YouTube. I want to utilize it a little more, though. I hear a lot of negative things about YouTube these days, but I mainly just want to create the content to get out there. So anyone who wonders what this is, there's a movie. Well, one, the person who commissions this collects nothing but Sylvester Stallone art. So if I want him to get in on a commission sale, I gotta. He does Stallone art only, which is really cool. To have, just a thing like that. Each try to think about what I would want. I think I'd probably want, Headless Horseman pieces. That any kind of collection at all. Anyhow, so the person, gets Stallone art, and so when I put out this morning that, hey, I got a commission sale because it's Monday, things are open. It was like, I wonder if there's anything you want to draw. I was like, I will draw a Cobra cutting his pizza knife. Now, you may be wondering, why does he cut his pizza with a knife? I don't know. It's not like I was talking earlier on the stream. He does not have a character quirk where this gets brought up. He doesn't mention it like it's the way he likes it, or he just sits down at his desk, opens up his pizza, pulls out a pair of scissors, and goes to town. It's very strange. The movie itself, this is part of Stallone's, the height of his ego, and he even talks about it, so I'm not running him down. He recognizes his the way he was in the 80s, so it's the book that this movie is based on. Stallone rewrote it to where it is almost unrecognizable as the book, and since this is the height of his hubris, he actually tried to have the author's name taken off of the book, so that way, and then have the book rewritten as well. Dude was unstoppable. But again, I'm not running him down on that's anything negative. That's he gave interviews a few years ago, especially when the Expendables was coming out, about how he's like, yeah, I had lost my mind. He's like, I was just way too full of myself. And this movie is one of those prime examples. It is. See, what movie did it come out next to? There's some movie that Anyway, he was okay with him cutting it down to a 90-minute run, so the theaters could show it more times, meaning it would bump up the numbers of how many times they ran it, so the box office would be more. And that was after the studio had already kind of gutted it a little bit. And it was it is a it's almost like a satire of movies now. Like if you showed somebody Cobra right now and said this was made as a parody of 80s action movies, so like this is brilliant. This is like everything wrong. Like every cliche is there. Just the he has this. I think it's like the poster for the movie or like the catchphrase. Anyway, is like crime is a disease and I'm the cure, and he complains about how he could kill all these scumbags and clean up the streets if it was for all this bureaucratic tape. And I'm like, good lord, the fucking monster. But that was the 80s. Again, if you wrote that line now, it'd be like a satire of what's going on. But so that's what this is. And it's again this very strange scene. Like I think he wanted to have another franchise, if I understand. Like he'd already had Rocky, Rambo was going pretty well. So it's like he's gonna make Cobra his new thing, and the world said, "No, we're not doing that." Thanks though. But Red Sonja, Bridget Nielsen, she's in this. I think this might be where they met. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Because the person who commissioned this is a Stallone fan. He's probably going to be like, no, that's not right. So forgive me if I get anything wrong. I'm a lover of more things than I am an expert. So. Yeah, I forgot. Not only does he sit down and cut his own pizza with scissors, cut his own pizza, like he cut somebody else's pizza with scissors. He's still wearing his gloves. Like he keeps his black gloves on. Again, what a strange movie. And he does the tough guy thing of like he's chewing on like a stick, but is he chewing on like just a toothpick? Like no, he's got a he has a he's chewing on matches. He has a match the entire time. Which I'll go back in with a white pencil and draw that. This one part he just like straight up like shoots a guy, and I'm pretty sure they 80-yard over like him saying freeze. Like he didn't say that in the original version. I was like, he comes off like a murderous psycho. But again, like the interview I was listening to or read years ago, he was just straight up like, yeah, that's he was very frank and very candid. Actually, he wasn't Frank Stallone. He's very frank. Frank Stallone is his brother. Anyway, he was just very candid about like where he was mentally and where he was in his career and what he thought he was, and he seems to have chilled out a lot. Like there was this script going around for a little bit where it was basically Rambo versus the Predator. Like there was some government like monster. It was going to be like a monster movie, and it was like after the Rambo. This is after like the critically acclaimed one. Like he came back and, like the John Rambo movie, and I think it's the one where he went It ended with him going to see his dad or something. Anyway, it was after that one, and there was this script going around that was like a government research project got out of hand, and now it's running loose, and they need John Rambo. He's the only thing that can go stop it. And I was like, it's versus the Predator, and it never got made. And I feel like if it was the Stallone of the '80s, we'd have 3 of those movies now, like Stallone fighting predators. But he's chilled out. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. So it's both really good and also really sad because I kind of want that movie to exist. But saying that out loud right now, it can never live up to what is in my head that I'm seeing. So maybe it's best that it just stays out there as what might have been, and then it can be on one of those listicles of a podcast. And I was like, did you know they were going to make a movie like this? And they can get their own content out of it for the next little bit. Cool. So yeah, tonight's commissions have gone pretty quickly. They were easy. Just think I'm getting a little better at doing these. Something like that. This is a nice little subtle desk or some lighting. Anyway, in the movie he was at his desk, but doesn't have to be exact. A couple of things. Yeah, this needs to dry, and I'll go back with my whiteout or some highlights, or the white pencil, I mean, to really get in under. I'll probably do like the highlights in his face, or the glasses specifically, I mean. So if you're ever looking for just like, just the most excessive, one of the most excessive 80s movies, action movies, like, what was it like? They weren't really like this, were they? It's like, you can go find Cobra. Dude's name's Cobretti. Marion Cobretti. And he's named Marion because of John Wayne. That's to tell you just how manly this movie is. Just made of men. That's it is not the commissions themselves that get me loopy. It is right now. It's just like 10:30 while I'm recording this. At the time of night, I started getting a little weird. All right, but so there we are. There's Stallone is Marion Cobretti. Still got to go do a little bit around here with his face and get his little matchstick in there and do a couple highlights in those glasses. And join me over here. What I did earlier tonight, I just got done on Facebook doing Usagi Yojimbo versus Jay, and over here was my own creations, Beezy and Fixel, from the comic strip that is currently running on my Patreon at patreon.com/Boatwright Artwork. You can sign up for the Devil level or higher, or not the Devil, sorry, the Dead Thing level or higher. It's $5 plus. You can get that, and you get a discount code that works on these commissions. So some of these people got these commissions at like half price tonight. And like these 5x7s I do at $25, probably gonna start doing them at like I do them at $20. I'm probably gonna start doing them at $25 next month. But I'm not changing my Patreon prices, so you could get those at a much better deal than you can if you're not on my Patreon. Plus, you get all sorts of benefits of like you get your prints that I'm making, which I just drew the basis for earlier today. You get that. You get some behind the scenes stuff. You get to just support me doing art like this. Because again, I ain't getting paid for these commissions, but the only way I have time to even be an artist, to afford the time to do these things like this, is because I don't have to work a 40-hour-a-week job or more, because of the support of patrons, and patrons like the people that are watching now, or the patrons that you might be in the future. And if you were a patron in the past watching this, and like, hey, come back, it's fun. I know what I'm doing a little more now. Alright, that said, thanks everybody. Good night, good night. Go watch Cobra. And yeah. Alright, good night everybody.